All right, third quarter. Big challenge put down by the StKilda coach. Let's see if his hard-nosed midfielders can respond. They are being smashed in the contested possession, 78 to 55. They haven't been able to win that battle even in recent visits to the SCG. So that's where they're looking for that turnaround. Revolt deep into the 50. Richards is there, and so is Snyder. He was fully committed to the footy, which was good, but the extra numbers prevail. Little jump, little hurdle, getting ready there for the Olympics from Teddy Richards. And the ball goes over the line and out of bounds.
Well, it's a better start. A couple of contest wins and a bit fiercer at the football. Let's see what happens with this clearance.
And Armitage really hit in hard. The Swans had the answers. O'Keefe, Hayes gets a hand to it. Out to Jack. They're so good with their tight little handballs, the Swans. No escape this time.
Well, there's one-on-ones all over the ground, so it's a positive for all the players. There's no confusion there. There's no extra at the moment off the clearances.
They're able to hack it in, the Saints. The bounce favoured Revolt, and can he capitalise? No.
I think also Goodsy's forward. We mentioned that in the second quarter. Even though Goods hasn't had a big game personally, there's no question that Longmire and coaching staff will be really happy with his performance, because he's really engaged Fisher now, and that changed the game in the second quarter.
McVeigh to Shaw. Scampering after him was Jones. Up to the wing, close to the line, and it's over. And just keeping an eye on Jetta at the moment. Montaña's with him, but I think Jones is working his way back to him now.
Great performance from Clinton Jones. Only the 6 disposals for Lewis Jetta, and 5 his kicks. He's going at 40%, so he's putting a lot of heat on the disposals when he does win it, which has been rare.
Montaña, but Shaw has that one covered. A little bit of uncertainty about where that kick was headed, but sorts itself out. McGlynn into the middle, and they look dangerous again. Jack waits. O'Keefe's got himself 10 metres into the clear. Goods pushing hard back to the goal scorer. He's all on his own. Mismanagement by the StKilda defence.
Well, I'm pretty sure Brendan Goddard's direct opponent at that occasion was Kieran Jack.
Yeah.
And he just opened up the leg rope far too long. It was about 30 metres, just assuming. And I'm pretty sure the runner's going to bring Brendan Goddard straight off, Pickers.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't be happy with that effort. You heard Scotty Waters at half-time. It's crucial, though, to get a good start in this third quarter, and that wasn't ideal. It was a great transition by the Swans all the same.
It was, and Goods comes in. Kicking for goal's been a real issue for them today, but that one's through. Extends the margin. Out to 14 points. He had a good bit of play there with Sam Reid. He led into the pocket, which let Goods on his own. I want to talk more about Goddard, perhaps.
Well, the build-up here is we're just having a look off camera. Now, I'm pretty sure, there's Brendan Goddard. So he was his direct opponent on that occasion. Not sure whether it was his match-up at the start, but in that passage of play, the leg rope I was watching, he had to man him up. It was the only place they could go down the middle, give the defenders no chance after that.
Yeah, and you can see that Sam Fisher didn't know what to do. He had Jude Bolton leading in front of him. He had Adam Goods behind him, so it certainly wasn't Sam Fisher's fault.
Well, when the ball goes through the middle, the defender, you've got nowhere to go. You've got no area to defend.
No.
Well, it's out to 14 now, and threatening to get worse. Jetta back to Shaw. Good pressure from behind. And that's out according to the umpire. McVeigh, and once it's out, it can be dangerous for the Saints. Johnson wobbles one. Back to the wing. Good work, Montaña and Del Santo. And eventually Dempster it is that thumps it deep. Kaczynski has to hit it hard. He did. He brought it to ground. Saad, who's been very quiet, just the one disposal thus far. Down to Liam.
Well, Sydney have made a sub. They've subbed Mumford out of the game at the start of this third quarter, and Everett's come onto the ground. So,
well, he's injured. Liam, he has to be, because remember we saw them working on his knee?
Yeah, he did have an ice pack on as he was walking off, but they wouldn't take a risk with him because he's such an important player, Shane Mumford.
Gee, let's hope he's okay in the long term.
That's a big opportunity now for McAvoy and Cozzy to work over Mike Pike. Big responsibility now for Mike Pike. This might have been the injury in the second. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he landed the ankle roll.
Yeah. Like it. Yeah. Well, as he walked off at half-time, it certainly had an ice bag on it.
Well, I think that's the luxury of having now Pike, Mumford and Lewis Roberts-Thompson, because even though Mumford goes off pickers, you've still got a second ruckman in Lewis Roberts-Thompson. That's the importance of Mike Pike's form at the moment.
And especially when Cozzy goes into the ruck, he's not a recognised ruckman, so Lewis Roberts-Thompson will be able to match him up.
Yep, absolutely.
Mike Pike and McAvoy.
But yeah, in terms of the season, if it was to be, let's hope it's not a serious knee injury, but if he's out for weeks, it's going to make a difference to the Swans. As Armitage does the best he could there, but it's out of bounds on the
We
foot.
actually saw last night's game that Josh Drummond did a similar thing, landed with a straight leg. So, not sure whether there was much damage. I don't think there was with Drummond, but you just worry about Big Mumford because he's had some injury problems this year.
No, you do. It looked like on the, we're not doctors up here, but it looked like his left ankle was the area of concern. So he jumps up and lands on that left leg.
Yeah, but the knee is what he
Actually landed, his left leg landed on Josh Kennedy's foot.
It looked like he rolled his ankle, but he also looked like he jarred his knee as well.
Well, he certainly had ice on his knee at half-time.
Jones gets it into the 50. At least it's spending some time in their forward half at the moment. As Malcheski and Goddard come into frame, about 30 metres off this stoppage. Goddard directing traffic. Yeah.
Big second half for Goddard's part. I really think he's got to get his way into the game. He's got to win some contests, and you could just sense the frustration of his coach on the couch the other weekend before the game. I just think they're a bit frustrated with him at the moment.
Jack with a low flying ball. Did well then, Goddard. Brought it to ground. It meant that it was still alive there. High ball, sky ball from Stephen, and well followed by Gilbert, who takes the mark.
No, it was good for the defenders, just making them accountable down there. So their second mark inside their forward 50, and it comes from a defender.
So Snyder kicking it in, and Gilbert takes the mark, and he'll line them up. There's a good grab. It's conversion all important now for Gilbert. He's kicked 6-5 for the year, and the probability is that he'll kick it. But it is a defender, and it is a goal.
Back him in.
Well, they definitely need something there, Spud, because they've really struggled for the last 35 minutes. There's no question. Second quarter was horrible. Start of this quarter was horrible. So just manufacturing something out of nothing, but kicking into a dangerous area. And that's a nice mark, just pushing down Gilbert from, looks like he's playing on the wing or half back. So they've just got to do something different and make it a one-on-one contest inside their own forward 50 now. At least put some pressure on the Swans defenders who've had it their own way most of the half.
First goal since the opening quarter when Saad kicked what was their 5th goal. And it comes from Gilbert, an unlikely source. Off half back. That's where he is at the moment. O'Keefe, Montagna.
Well, Brendan Goddard has pushed forward now. It looks like he's nearly playing full forward. And I don't mind this because that's a pretty good matchup for StKilda. Alex Johnson, he wouldn't like, he's a really good defender, but if he plays a key post, it might be a matchup StKilda can get an advantage out of.
Yeah, you can certainly big enough. What is he, 6'3"?
Yep.
He's a big guy, Goddard, and he can catch it. So he's definitely got to do something. Even if he can get out of this second half with 2 or 3 goals from the full forward position, that's a win.
Malcheski quickly, it was touched. Simpkin was able to realise that quick enough. The wrestle on the wing.
Hands in the back.
Interference against McVeigh. They take the advantage. Hayes summed it up well. Stephen charging in towards goal. Thumping, ignored the Kazitsky lead, which is interesting. Preferred Sipos. Johnson did well. Strides out of defence to Smith, to Malcheski. They'll click into gear here, the Swans. McLean, Fisher coming hard at him. It goes through the middle. Gilbert, the Saints digging in here. Quick kick, Montagna to centre half forward. Just away from Sipos. He kept his foot for a while, but in the end he couldn't. Matner farmed it off nicely to Richards and then to the wing to Kennedy, who takes the mark, has a glance inside. There's plenty on offer for him, and he finds one of those opportunities. It's Bolton, long kick for Reid, one-on-one with Gwilt. He'll try and spoil, but he did effectively in the end because he had much needed assistance from Gilbert.
Yeah, it was a good effort by Gilbert to get across there, identify that it was a genuine one-on-one. It looked like Reid was going to win that contest. Good effort by Gilbert.
To Dempster and then to Revolt. So the margin stands at 8. Nick Revolt under some duress after copying a couple and coming off the worst for wear. Drives to half forward to Kazitsky. Yeah, here's Sipos a moment ago. Gee, that should have been a
That's
free.
high. Nice round arm to the head. That's a free kick every day of the
But
week.
StKilda, Sydney will love that, Rosie. So
Yeah.
Nick Rewalt marks the ball on the half-back flank. He looks up and kicks to a contest with Cozzy on the wing. So that means Goddard will have to have an impact in the forward line if that trend continues.
Malcheski, the Swans just not getting out of defence. The clean exits that they were in that second term. Revolt thumping it. That's looked dangerous kick, but playing in front, Ted Richards.
Oh, he's just had a super year, Ted Richards. It's unbelievable. I think he's had the 23 goals kicked again. He's in rare vein at the moment. I think it's only 6 goals the last 5 matches. Ted
When you're
Richards.
playing in that on the number one forward, you are going to concede some goals, aren't you, along the journey?
Yeah.
As Matner misses a very rare target.
The boundary umpire to duck then? That was a good effort by the boundary umpire.
We didn't think they would have that much agility, Rosie.
No, the guy liked the way he kept his eye on the ball and he saw it coming, read it well, Spud, ducked.
Very good
Okay.
play.
Nice.
Del Santo looking for Goddard. Kazitsky. Sipos. O'Keefe, Kennedy, expertise, terrific again in tight. Johnson lets him down a little with an initial fumble, but he recovered well. That's out on the floor, I reckon.
I reckon it was out of bounds before it had his foot, to be perfect. I've got a beautiful view of it down
He
here.
actually slipped in the hand pass onto his foot.
Oh, Del Santo takes it quickly. Milnes at the back.
That's a wasted kick.
Yeah, it is.
Completely wasted kick.
We got Brendan got it down. Just have a look at Henry. He gets the ball and fumbles. Yeah, good decision.
Good call.
But you're right, Rosie. You've got Brendan Goddard there on a half a lead. You kick to a 2-on-2 where the forwards cannot move, and all the defender has to do is spoil it through from behind.
Yeah. You got to get
Think your way through it.
Yeah, Del Santo's a nice decision maker, good kick, but you got to get better out of that.
Yeah, that's
Johnny Longmire on screen there. It's just a bit. He'd be a bit nervous. This is a nervous time of the game because you've dominated probably the last 45 minutes, but you're just not. You haven't got reward on the scoreboard.
That's
6-13.
That's exactly, Rosie, what I was going to say. Whilst we're talking about what Swans are doing right, we're talking about how much StKilda are doing wrong.
Yeah.
The reality is it's 7 points.
Yep.
So,
And StKilda are chance pickers. If they can just generate something here for the next 5 minutes, they're right in this game.
absolutely.
Well, they've responded to the coach. They're winning the contested possession in this quarter, 18-14. Snyder, he goes with depth. He goes for Goddard. He couldn't get a run at it. Could not get a run at it.
Also, the clearance is 7-3. StKilda's favour too, Hutto.
But there's another just poor kick. That's Del Santo and Snyder, 2 of your more talented players and better decision makers. And speaking of kicks, really sure, but last two entries have been horrible for the Saints forwards. No chance to actually mark the football.
Yeah, kick the ball to space.
Yeah.
Allow the forward to run and jump.
They've been inside 50 11 times to 3.
Well, they dominated the start of this quarter.
The Swans just not having that effective exit this quarter either. As they spoil each other, the Swans. Goddard. Complexion of this game's just changed a little. Geary. A throw. So it'll be a Sydney ball. They played the advantage. They're a little
that's not
unfortunate. They
advantage.
would never have taken the advantage, I don't think, if they'd known. Jones. O'Keefe. They might be able to get out here, the Swans. Revolt has other ideas. Good team tackling by the Saints.
But if you're sitting at home, you'd think, well, there must be a 4 or 5 goal breeze or a win to the right of screen. The game's been played to the right. It's just, it'll be a 1 or 2 goal breeze, do you think, Pickers?
No, look, as I say, you can score at both ends, Spud. I know that most of the scoring's been done to the right of screen, but I mean, you can score at the other end. I just think that StKilda have brought out a really strong mindset in this third quarter.
No, it's a positive start.
Just judging by the look on Scotty Waters' face as he was speaking to you, Liam, I reckon he would have given them a bit of a spray at half-time.
Yeah, I would have thought so. He'd be disappointed with that dished up in the second quarter, but as I say, they've certainly responded early, but they haven't got the score on the board.
Well,
As
12
such.
you're right, Pickers. 12 inside 50s for 1 goal. And the Swans have been in 3 times for 1.
Oh, it's opened up here for Milne. The Swans so indecisive on the way out, and Saad comes in and misses.
That was
would
selfish.
cause anguish, wouldn't it?
Selfish, because he was in the goal square by himself. That's the sort of stuff you don't want to see. And that's sometimes when you're having a bad day and you haven't touched it. This is what you like to see. Really nice give, nice dish, and we can see, we can't actually see him there on the top of the screen, but nice left-handed handball, Spud over the top.
Yep.
Go the Goose, thanks for coming, goal.
And the thing with, he didn't look at all.
Nah,
that was the thing.
Yeah.
If he had have looked and thought, oh, he's under a little bit too much pressure, you'd wear it. But your first look has got to be, is someone else in a better position?
Yeah.
And there was on that occasion in Cozzy.
So Malcheski for Reid. Saints are covering bases, having the same problem as the Swans that the Saints had in that second term. Now they've got it to the wing, and Goods is down there as well. If they can mark it here, Goods is on his own towards the square. McGlynn fighting a 1-on-3 battle, though. The numbers were against him. Hanbury takes Sipos out, and Kennedy's able to fashion a kick. McVeigh under pressure. Bird, one more handball. They're in the clear. Grundy, unusual to see him so far forward, and he just got run down in the end.
Oh, it's pushed after the kick.
Oh,
I thought it was just a good pressure.
Did he push him in the back?
I thought it was in the side. Well, we'll have a really good look here. We get the benefit of the slow-mo as well as Brendan Goddard.
Oh, well, I guess it was the small of the back, wasn't it?
But very small.
That happens 100 times a game.
Yeah, I reckon he's stiff there. But that's just, gee whiz.
That's just putting pressure on the ball carrier.
Yeah, that's a bad call. Bad call.
I reckon the umpires will tick it.
Oh, no question.
Yep.
Grundy comes in to kick for goal. And good afternoon to the Geese as he puts it through.
Well, that hurts on a couple of fronts for StKilda. Sydney have been in 4 times this quarter for 2 goals. StKilda 13 times for 1 goal 3. You can see the umpire there talking to Brendan Goddard.
And this is why this kills you.
Oh,
there he is.
There
That just kills you. That
he didn't look at all.
And here's the free.
Oh no,
gee,
no, that's just. It was just a lunge, and his hand sort of slid down his rump. No.
I think the best indication of that, Hardo, is Grundy wasn't expecting a free kick at all. He's sort of lowered his head, thought that's a terrible kick.
Did it impact the kick though?
Well, didn't like Grundy's response was more a case of what a terrible kick.
But if it impacted the kick and he pushed him in the back, isn't it a free kick?
Well, I don't think it was in the back.
Okay, well that's the argument. Whether it was in the back or not is the argument.
Yeah,
Clearly.
I think it certainly affected his kick, but the reason his kick was affected because he took too long to kick it.
Yeah.
Graham out wide to Goddard. The margin is out to 12 points, and it's disappointing from a StKilda.
Oh, they've dominated.
They've done so much hard work, and that's, well, if the boundary wasn't there, that was a good kick, but the boundary was there. So
But it also goes back to the Sard handball.
Yep.
I mean, the ball's not down there if the umpire's bouncing in the centre bounce. So kick the goal, and that's just a really, really poor effort from a young player.
So margin 2 goals. Goddard can't take it. An intriguing contest here at the SCG. The weather's done the right thing after some rain this morning. It's cleared, fine conditions. Midway through this 3rd quarter, still delicately poised. Swans without Mumford for the rest of the game, subbed out. Big opportunity for StKilda again. Kazitsky slaps it back, and the Saints and Swans see it over and out.
Yeah, they've worked their way well back into the game. It's now a genuine contest. A lot of guys just scrapping for the ball, fighting. It's just going to be a case who can get that clean possession out of these clearances here, give their forwards a bit of a chance.
Came down to Melcheski, who gets a second crack at it.
And the Mumford factor starting to come into play a little bit around the clearance as well. StKilda's starting to win some clearances without the ruck domination of Mumford.
Somehow Kennedy kept it in. I'm not sure if he really wanted to or not, but he did, and it's over the boundary line.
So the game sort of needs a Lenny Hayes just to open up the pack and, you know, a Brendan Goddard, one of the star players, because it's still there to win this game. It just seems to they're faltering a bit at the moment, the Saints.
We saw Shane Mumford, as we said, subbed out with a knee injury. There's a shove to the Saints. A little perplexed was Jared McVeigh. Aggressive kick in the middle, element of risk, more than just the small element too.
Good tackle.
Everett, Doggett.
Oh, it's too long.
And the umpire must be saying he's done enough.
I think it was good effort on 2 fronts, as we see Mumford here, definitely icing the knee there. So disappointing for Mumford, hopefully not too bad, but really good, courageous running from Gilbert off the back line. Poor kick, and then makes a great tackle, so well done.
Revolt. Swans have got an extra man behind here, but he's not going to be in the play. It's still 1-on-1. Now the extra man comes in. This is Matner. He tried to wade his way through. That was close to holding the ball. They're going to get a goal eventually. You would think no.
Can they just handball it over the top?
Did Schneider take Sorry, Matner take Schneider on? He did. He had prior opportunity.
Clearly holding the ball.
It was a perfect tackle. Here he is, look, he's a fire.
2, takes him on.
He's going to say the ball slipped out in the tackle, but that was holding the ball.
That's holding the ball. Has to be holding the ball.
Every day of the week, except Sunday, obviously.
Well, that hurts because you get a softish free kick up the other end and you don't get this one this end.
Melcheski up to the wing. Everett came late and couldn't stop.
Well, once again, there was a nice easy handball over the top spot. I think it was Cozzy in the goal square again. That's the second one for the quarter that he could have kicked. Just their decision-making at the moment, just not finishing off their play the same.
Well, it's got to be really frustrated, Scotty Waters, because their work rates there, they've had 15 inside 50s.
Yeah.
And they're really good at kicking goals once they get it in there. They've only kicked them one.
Fisher, this time Kaczynski gets himself clear. And he can have a shot for goal.
They're right in this game of football, StKilda. They've just got to believe it themselves.
He needs to kick this.
21 goals, 4 for the season for Justin Kaczynski. We saw him have a shot from
Looks like
similar-ish range, but it's a little further out earlier in the game. It didn't make the distance. He's had just 3 disposals today. Hasn't scored. 21-4 is his season total. Didn't look like it was perfect connection, but it'll look like that now. Or was it touched?
It looked like it was over the line.
I think it was a goal, yeah.
Score review, please.
score review.
We believe the ball was touched before it crossed the goal line. Please confirm.
Okay. Well, this is interesting because the touch ones have been the hardest ones to tell on the replay.
I thought it looked like, and I don't want to put words in the goal umpire's mouth clearly, but if you watch it here,
He thinks it was touched by Mike.
well, does the goal umpire think it's touched, or is he going to play a goal?
He said, we think. That's what the
Yeah, he
umpire
said, we do.
Looks like it's missed, doesn't it, to me? But inconclusive, really.
It's inconclusive.
Which means it'll be a point.
Well, it means what the umpire thinks it is.
Yeah, which was a
If he thought it was a goal, it's a goal. If he thought it was a point,
Well, he said we think it's a point.
it's a point then.
Yeah, what does the goal umpire think? That's what I'm uncomfortable with. Surely the goal umpire has got, not collectively.
Yeah, it actually looks like it's missed on that.
Yeah,
That's
not
the one.
collectively. The goal umpire's spud is 6 inches away from that ball. So I don't want to know what the field umpire thinks. I don't want to know what the boundary umpire thinks. What I want to know is, what does the goal umpire think?
I agree with you, but I think that last replay clearly showed it was a goal. I think it clearly showed it missed the fingers. Anyway.
Unless the goal umpire heard the ball hit the fingers, and you can hear that.
But I don't mind. If the goal umpire thinks it's touched,
Then
that's
it's
fine. I don't mind that at all. What I'm saying is, I don't want to hear the umpire say, we think it's touched. I want to hear what the goal umpire thinks.
Well, they're not getting the rub of the green at the moment, that's for sure. StKilda, 1 goal 5. It's a little bit like Sydney in the first quarter, 16 inside 50s.
It's especially in those situations too, Rosie, where the goal umpire clearly is in the best position.
He has to be in the best position.
Sometimes if they're not, you go, okay, well, the fielding or the boundary might have seen it better, but when they're that close.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess we just hope that it was the goal umpire that thought it was touched. The game goes on. It's been a bit of a confusing third term for all sorts of reasons. Plenty happening. Down to Liam.
Yeah, Sipos has been subbed, as you can see there, and Donnell gets a chance to get into the game. He was actually pretty good, Sam Donnell, last week when he came on.
Yeah, did a couple of classy things.
Son of Frank Donnell, Essendon player.
McAvoy. And there's a good grab from Grundy.
They really need some reward for effort here, StKilda.
Quick hands for Smith. His recovery was much better than his fumble. As McVeigh, they're digging deep, being as resourceful as they can. Certainly there's not as much confidence in this Sydney defence at the moment on the way out. Richards to a one-on-one. No Mumford to drive for. Instead, Goods. And again, just slips out the back. Jack Stephen giving them some power running. Drives it for Goddard. Little give, Montagna. Poorly directed. Sure, that's easy fodder for him.
We touched on it before, Hutto, just the class players of StKilda. They're just a little bit off their game today. they normally really deliver those beautiful, accurate passes, the great decisions. They kick a goal when they have to, but this just seemed a little bit off at the moment, the top liners for the Saints.
Well, Lenny Hayes is a good point in case, Rizzy. He's only had the 9 disposals, and this ground, I thought, coming to this ground today, a little bit went underfoot. It's going to suit him down to the ground because he's ranked 1 in a whole lot of areas for the Saints, but he's been really quiet today.
Well, Ryan O'Keefe's done a bit of a number on Lenny so far.
No, he has.
And he is running all up and down the ground. He's taking him deep forward. He's taking him into defence.
He's a great matchup for him, isn't it? Because he can be such a damaging player himself. If he gets in attack, he can kick a goal.
And that's the beauty of Ryan O'Keefe, playing a selfless role. He dominated last week himself individually, and now he's playing the team role and trying to get one of the key generations of StKilda not having an impact.
Hanbury. Goddard. Out the back, Jones. Johnson to spoil. Actually, he went for the mark, which was
Yeah, he should have spoiled.
Oh, Jack scoots away. What a player he is now. The kick not perfect. And unless your name's Tom Simpkin, it was perfect for him.
I think it also illustrates the depth of the Swans. They've got a number of players that can go to different types. You've got Bird who can tag, you've got McVeigh who can tag, you've got Jack who can tag, and there you've got sort of Ryan O'Keefe who can do the rolls on those bigger bodies. I just think their depth in the midfield is really worrying the opposition at the moment.
Revolt's just come on the ground, so there's no next tall marking option, although he might get to this. McAvoy's there as well, and popping up is Donnell.
Good grab. Really
That's a good grab, because I reckon that's a hit and hope, Spud. That's just a turnaround kick, and that's a really courageous mark. As Pike, I think he slipped, but he could have nailed that young. I think it was just a turnaround wheel hit and hope. If we look at it here, I'm not sure. Eyes on the footy, and it's just in the end, it was Pike just slipping when he could have come over the top and spoiled the ball. So they got away with one there, the Saints.
8 disposals last week coming as a sub. He had a shot and kicked it out on the full last week. So hopefully here he can just go back and put it through. And he has. First goal in AFL footy for Sam Donnell. Well, what a vital goal it is.
I was going to say, it's probably a fair reward because they've just dominated this quarter and they almost could be in front at the moment, the Saints, but they just, here it is, just wheeling around. I don't know, maybe I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, Spud, but a balloon ball like that doesn't often get marked, 15, 20 metres out. And then just Pikey just slips. But full credit to the Saints this quarter. They have bridged the gap. They've won a lot more contested football. They've certainly slowed the Swans up from their scoring opportunities as well.
Really good, courageous mark there from Sam Donnell, playing his second game, his first goal. Really courageous mark. There's no doubt Scotty Watters will show that to the group tomorrow in the review. That's what you need to do for a youngster to earn your spot in the team.
So quickly they're into attack. The Swans, who now need to respond. The onus going on to them. Really, it's been a quarter dominated by the Saints.
It's been a funny old game, hasn't it?
One side's waiting, it's counter-punching and waiting for another side to get a run on, then we'll lift our work rate. It's wide open, this game. It's in the back. Yeah, I thought it was Cozzy. Cozzy pushed Roberts Thompson out far too easily.
And when I know Cozzy's not a ruckman of sorts, but he's a more experienced ruckman than Lewis Roberts Thompson. So you don't give away a free kick like that. You're the dominant ruckman of those two.
He just had to hold.
Yeah, just hold your ground. I mean, that's just poor by Cozzy. And Lewis Roberts Thompson, here it is here. Just a shove. You
just had to hold.
It's a free kick every day of the week. It's unnecessary.
A little bit of a wobbly run in, and it's kicked very strongly and with great authority from Lewis Roberts Thompson.
Oh, that's just annoying, Spud. I mean, you and I looking at each other shaking our head. And Cozzy's hasn't had a great day, but you can't compound it by doing those silly things.
It's inexcusable. Because look at another look here. All he had to do was hold here. Hold. He always had the ball.
He's in the dominant position, absolutely.
Well, in the end, he ran past the ball. So the ball was there. So there was no need to push him out. He had to hold him there. And just had Del Santo and Goddard tap it out. It would have been a simple clearance. Undisciplined.
So great response from the Swans. And even if it was assisted by the umpire, so a couple of important goals in this third quarter coming from free kicks for the Swans. As we said, the Saints have really dominated proceedings, but not so on the scoreboard. It's been 3 goals to 2-5. They continue to hunt here. Bolton was there in the thick of it. At the back, O'Keefe couldn't venture past Donnell. He's a young man full of enthusiasm. And look at the tackling we get now in the game. It's just 1, 2, 5 blokes all tackling at the same time. Margin stands at 10. Melcheski. Reed gets away from him and it's over the line and out of bounds.
It's a big quarter, Melcheski, 12 possessions.
Well, there's Scott. He'd be looking at the inside 50s and saying, we've had 19 inside 50s. We've dominated the play, kicked 2 goals, 5. Sydney have been in 6 times for 3 goals. We've been outscored. We're 3 times the inside 50s in Sydney.
Jetta, again, not goal side of the pack, so kicks along to Goods. Surely that was interference from Goods. It certainly appeared to be initially. Anyway, now that's a dastardly time to fall over so deep in defence. Long kick out of there from Dempster. Jetta with a run. Couldn't collect it in the air and it's out of bounds.
It's just a handball from Goddard. I mean, there's a player, Spade, just really out of form. And this is a contest here. Actually, it was almost probably we thought it was a free kick maybe to Simka, but it was almost a free kick to Goods.
Goods hands in the back.
Hands in the back, but geez, Goddard's out of form, Spud, isn't he?
He is.
The handball before.
Oh, that handball was indicative of the way he's played the last month.
Decisive stuff from Grunt.
No urgency in it.
Canterbury to Bird. They're clicking a little better, the Swans, but hopelessly outnumbered. Goods, the last man standing. A calamity it could be for the Saints. Not a perfect handball by any means for Everett. They're doing it hard, both sides in front of goal at the moment.
Well, the intensity have lifted the last 2 minutes for both teams.
Yeah.
I can sense that three-quarter time is not far away.
Normally Goods would have just had the shot for goal.
Normally,
But if you're going to make a mistake, it's better make a mistake making a team error. Not like Sard early on.
Right.
Gwilt from that very last line. Kazitsky was the intention, but Ted Richards, who's a real crowd favourite and a team favourite, marks to Johnson. Could have laid it off by hand. Instead kicks to Jetta, who is a mighty good kick.
It was about an 8-yard kick to Jetta.
And I saw Sydney play, I think, round 2 or 3. I've seen a lot on the tally. It's been great to watch Ted Richards live. And I've really admired the way his positioning, his body use. He's in rare form, Ted Richards.
He just reads the play so well, Spud. He looks at the guys kicking the ball, reads it better than the forward at the moment. He's in good form,
Well, he kicked a monster goal last week from outside 50. He's on his way again. He's such a pure footballer as Jetta. It's a goal.
Well, we talked about the intensity lifting just before three-quarter time. And the last thing StKilda needed was for Sydney to kick a goal. There's something off the ball here. The free kick to StKilda.
Prohibited contact, Adam. You won't need it. Contact. Stay there.
He'll be in this.
Well, Adam Goods has gone down.
You come in,
Schneider.
you initiate the contact, Adam. You start it, you're third man in.
No, he's coming through. Nick, please. No, Nick, Ben.
A lot of chatter going on.
Anyway, Ben McAvoy's got the kick. It's always got to be the ruckman. If there's a centre bounce, that's the rule. The ruckman has to take the kick. There it is.
10 seconds.
Nick Galsando wanted it.
Well, it shouldn't take you that long to work it out.
It should. I don't know why Nick was demanding the ball.
Lays it off to Graham. One last hurrah in this third quarter. Revolt so close. Shaw, they wrap it up. Temperature rising here right on the siren at three-quarter time. And somehow the Swans have come out winning that quarter despite a massive lift by the Saints. They're still in this game, but 16 points is a big obstacle as we head into the last quarter. A quarter full of feeling, you would think, after what we saw in that third term, and it's still going on.
Snyder and Goodsy, a couple of premiership teammates there. So
it's an amazing quarter of football. Sydney Swans, 9 inside 50s for 4 goals. StKilda, 20 inside 50s for 2.
All right, let's get to the break so we can get back here at the SCG for the last quarter. It's Sydney 9-13-67 at StKilda 7-9-51. Last quarter then, we're ready for action in this final term. The margin is 16. Pike continuing to do the ruck work, obviously. Hayes Bombs away. Denell, he looks a likely type. He takes the mark.
Tacks the ball, doesn't he?
He does.
Off for Graham, who's penetrating by foot, but this was a delicate operation and well executed to Snyder. So,
Well, really good kick. Bombed the ball. He had Ryan O'Keefe, loose man, the extra for the Swans. So you've got to go to the one-on-one, even though it's outside the corridor. Good decision.
You can see Adam Snyder there looking at the win. As I say, that's kicking into what looks like a breeze, but I think you'll find from that side of the ground, he'll have it behind his back. So, if anything, probably right goalpost here. It should work its way left.
11 disposals and 1 behind for Adam Snyder. 5 goals, 2 for the season. Just playing his 6th game. This is a crucial kick, though, and he'll know it. And he'll be disappointed with the result. So StKilda was so accurate in the first quarter. Since then, though, it's been a very different story. First turn produced 5 goals, 1. They've kicked 2 goals, 9 since then.
It's even out over the course of the game, wasn't it? Swans were inaccurate early.
Right.
Now it's 9-13 to 7-10.
McVeigh goes for distance and for Reid and Bolton. Goddard gobbled it up. All Sydney back there, you would think. And Magna, as they collaborate so well as a team, as I guess we've laboured on it because it's been such a strong point for the Sydney Swans this season. Over to Grundy and then to Shaw. Let's look for the next step. Back into Richards. He'll look up and not see a lot on offer, to be honest. So he could be forced to go to a one-on-one. Reid, such a good
Unbelievable kick. That is a very good kick from Ted Richards. I'm looking at Gwilt as a defender. His positioning was good, hip on hip. The kick was just too good, and a good mark from Reid.
To half forward. A little slow to react there, the Sydney forwards. Goods got there eventually. Jetta. He can get out of almost any situation. Wasn't the perfect pass to his teammate. McGlynn gives him a mouthful. Little angry ant.
It's one of those days, Benny McGlynn.
Well, he could have kicked 3 or 4 goals, Ben McGlynn.
Yeah.
Instead, he's kicked 1 goal, 3. McAvoy. Goddard taken out of it.
He's down.
He lets some of his frustration out on Goddard, who is down. And the Saints players will go to McGlynn here.
Well, I just thought it was a good hip and shoulder.
He's just caught him unawares there.
Yeah, he's winded.
Replay will be interesting, of course, in the current climate. As quick kick away from Del Santo. Jack. Hayes gains another 35. Denell for Armitage. Terrific build-up. The build-up just about complete. Some hesitation and not a good kick. Oh, what a strong mark.
Well, it's the only option he had, actually, Hutto, because there was 2 Swans players behind the ball, and it was a very good mark from Schneider. Looks like Brendan Goddard's coming up, Pickers.
Yeah, he is. He's just got a little bit winded. It's a clean hit. Have a look at this. He's just unawares. Got him before he really got set.
I reckon it was a head-to-head Pickers almost.
Yeah.
So, well, that'll be interesting because the duty of care is to not hit them in the head, isn't it, these days? Snyder with a long run. Certainly not beyond him. But you can see the accuracy, all the issue there.
Well, if you were to ask someone who wants to shoot the goal in the last quarter to get you back into the game, it would have been another angle from Goddard.
That was one of those size ones, wasn't it? Just a smaller player. His head was below the chin.
Absolutely no problems with that.
Jones drives to full forward. Pike. Yes, that's what people said after the Zeeble one as well, though, Graham.
Yeah, but Zeeble, and I don't agree with the Zeeble one at all. Certainly not for 4 weeks, but he did leave the ground even though the ball was there. But look, I think that's otherwise just completely take the bump out of the game. That's
The only
easy way
issue
to
with
go.
it, because he ran past the ball.
It was a Shepherd's part. You put a Shepherd on.
Yeah, I know, but the ball was there. That's what they'll look at.
And if you do hit players in the head, when there is another option.
Well, what can you do if you're 4'8" and your head's going?
True. No, good point.
You're bumping.
No, you've won that argument there.
I think
you're
If
absolutely
you're 4'8", though, you should be getting them lower than the head.
No, because his head.
Well, I think it was the top of his head that hit his chin. But I think after the Zeeble one, I just don't think any of us know what's going to happen now. You've got a guy that, by the match review panel's admission, was going for the football, and he still gets 4 weeks.
Meanwhile, back at the game, as O'Keefe kicks to the wing, it's Sydney through Everett. He's got Goods inside. Goods said, no, go longer, but he went to the wrong option. Went to Geary instead. So the Saints still breathing here, just 12 points the margin.
It's a bit of breaking point, isn't it, Hutto? The game is sort of...
Montagna kicks it long. Snyder was down a long time before the ball arrived. He was screaming the umpire for a free kick. Now Goddard's just come off the bench here. McVeigh won't be aware of that. And so suddenly the Saints outnumber the Swans. And Stephen can drive it in again. Revolt! Oh, he caught
That's a mark too high. Very good play. They're still running this game, StKilda. Nick Smith's done a very good job on Stephen Nelson's quarter time. He's only had one possession.
Well, now, first quarter, I think I might have said that they didn't seem to have that hard matchup. They were flicking it around.
That's right.
Since then, he's made an effort to stay with him everywhere, and that's been the big difference in the game from Milne Smith.
Gee, they need some reward for effort here, though. They've had all the play again, and they haven't been able to put a goal through. This will be their third shot.
Well, when you think over the years of all the shots Nick Revolt's had, and unfortunately, a lot of them have ended just like that in crucial stages. Champion of the game. As has been well documented, that hasn't been his strong suit. But the Saints certainly putting the pressure on the Swans. And since half-time, they haven't been able to implement their effective system of getting it out from defence.
No.
So let's see how they go this time. O'Keefe, again, they're outnumbered with bodies, and Fisher takes the grab. And Gilbert thought better of trying too much on that time and kicked it quickly. It's out of bounds. I guess the onus on the Saints to create the play here.
Well, they're doing that since half-time.
Yep.
But no reward. And as we all know, the real reward is goals.
Yeah, neither team's been able to really use the ball well consistently today, have they?
Stephen Milne.
There's been a lot of hit and hope balls into their forward 50 both ends.
A lot of Hail Marys.
Yeah, a lot of Hail Marys going in.
Gilbert.
There's another one.
Yeah.
It slides out, so it's in a dangerous Cozzy.
Yeah, it's not a great day to be a forward for either side today. I mean, Reid hasn't had a lot of the ball, and we mentioned Cozzy and Rewald and Goods, but the ball movement going inside the forward 50 has been pretty ordinary from both sides.
Kennedy with 27 disposals for the Swans, 20 for Montagna, the most for the Saints. Pike from behind, brings it down. Snyder looking for his third shot for goal for the quarter. In the end, he was forced to give it up. O'Keefe just wandered through there, but he's kicked it blindly. Straight for Dempster, who kicks it straight back with a little bit more on it. What a massive kick.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it is. That's the 9th inside 50 for the start of this quarter for no reason. And the Swans haven't been in once.
No, that's right.
And in the third quarter, I know it was the Swans in the first quarter, but the third quarter, StKilda went in 20 times for 2 goals.
Yeah.
And Sydney went in 9 times for 3.
Do you know what's been the most amazing part of that is that they haven't had a massive influence from Lenny Hayes, Nick D'Alessandro, Lee Montagna are all quietish, and also Goddard.
And Goddard kicks it out of Milne.
Well, this is the man. We talked about Schneider having 2 set shots at the start of this quarter. This would be number 1. Milne would be number 1, Schneider number 2. And this is the moment that he loves. He craves this. Been very quiet for the last 2.5 quarters.
Kicked a wonderful goal, which we reckon covered about 65 metres in the first term. We saw Dempster just kick it from this distance earlier, so they're travelling a long way, and finally that one straight as well. There's a goal, the difference at the SCG.
Well, they had to get reward for effort. They'd had 4 or 5 shots and a lot of inside 50s. And it started, we've been critical of Goddard today, but it started with just Goddard lowering his eyes here. Just look at this. This is a good spoil, terrific spoil there. But Goddard doesn't blaze. He lowers his eyes and he hits one inside and just settles the whole game down, which allows Milne. That's a really good finish from Milne, though. It's a kick from outside 50. Great effort from Sam Fisher. Good hands and good vision from Brendan Goddard.
The real concern for Sydney, StKilda dominated this start of the last quarter. 10 inside 50 to 0.
Look at the time inside forward 50.
Sure.
It's been total domination, as we said. And they don't have their number 1 ruckman in Mumford. It's starting to tell a little more as the game goes on. Jones tracked it. Jetta was left standing, but it goes StKilda's way. Jones runs into the proverbial brick wall. But Hayes and Goddard, they've started to lift the rating a little bit. The chance from the Saints. A throw. Gee, really quick whistle.
This is their first time to enter inside the forward 50 for the Swans.
Jetta in deep. Goods is going to threaten here. Reid will have to contest. He almost dragged it down, and it didn't fall to where Adam Goods was anticipating. Instead, it's Gwilt that takes it out to half-back. All hands on deck. Milne from half-forward all the way back to half-back. trying to orchestrate another move forward. Snyder versus O'Keefe, digging deep on all their reserves, the Saints. He's either saw or lost his shoe there, Snyder. Might have twisted the ankle.
I think he might have.
So he looks a little lame at the moment. Both sides have used their subs. We said Mumford and Sipos. Pike grabbed it. It was good.
That was clever
play, wasn't it?
Clever.
Put in the lap of Hanbury. Rare fumble from Kennedy. Had the luxury of a little bit of space. Still handballs in the end, so good pressure from the Saints. Starting to show. McVeigh, even that was a hurried kick and a wayward kick. But it does get it deep into their attacking territory.
Well, it's a relief for the Swans just to get a stoppage inside their forward 50. They said the whole of this quarter's been in StKilda's forward line. So at least the Sydney Swans defenders get some respite now, can set up behind the ball.
Pike comes. Kennedy. Stephen tries to slap it away. Fisher. And job done. It's out of bounds.
Yeah, and they're generally dangerous at the forward stoppages, the Swans. You look for a McVeigh, a Goods down there, McGlynn.
Tap down comes from Pike. Squeeze is on here at the SCG. Crowd can sense what's going on out there. The home team really being put under severe stress by StKilda. There's so many experienced Saints that have been in these situations so many times before. Pike down to Goods. How did he get clear? Over to Bolton again. They just missed the target. Bolton goes down. He got up again. Of course he did. It's deep and it's through from behind.
Good tough clash there between Simpkin and Bolton. Fair bump. It's good.
Oh, they don't get out of there cleanly though. O'Keefe gives it plenty and a thundering noise around the SCG.
That goal was that quick. The goal umpire didn't get enough time to put the stick back from his point. He had to throw one behind. It was a great play from Ryan O'Keefe.
Standing goal umpiring those spots.
No, it is. You probably won't see the goal umpire from this angle, but he actually throws the goal stick down because they have a quick look. Oh, the ball's coming straight back over my head. That's the last thing StKilda needed. That hurts because they've dominated the start of this last quarter. Good goal, O'Keefe.
11 points the difference here at the SCG. They've been challenged and they still will be in this final term. They've responded once. StKilda have kicked 1-6 to 1-1. McAvoy against Pike, who holds his own that time. Down to Kennedy. Del Santos in the mix. Stephen there. Gilbert's there. They're all having a crack. Hayes finds a way when many couldn't. Inside out torpedo to Milne.
Yeah, free kick holding.
He was massacred there. Takes the free kick. And again, this is within his capabilities.
He's kicking for another 4 or 5 metres back. It just got over the hands. I'm not sure he'll get this one with the wind.
I'd like to see him hit a target here. There's some space on his right side of the ground there, but I just don't think he can get the journey here.
He can't, I don't think, but look at that. It's going to land right on the... Oh, did it go through?
Oh, no.
It has gone through. It's a goal.
That never looked like going through. Well,
that was not very well organised on the goal.
Yeah, that was terrible. John Longmire would be absolutely ropeable here. If we look at it, yeah, there's a free kick, genuine free kick. It looked to be, yeah, 2 or 3 metres outside the range, and just a desperation pull from tried to get away with one, Smith there.
But I thought it was going to land in the middle of the goal square.
If we look at it here, it did. It just seemed to.
Oh, jeez. What a kick.
5 goals for Stephen Milne. What a day.
I'm just wondering, had Pike gone around the back and jumped over the top? He actually came around the front.
He was in the wrong position,
Yeah, absolutely.
Pike gets it down. The Saints have responded. O'Keefe, it's back to you, sir, they say. And the Swans come again through Bird, charging into the clear. He summed it up well. He executed it well. What a game this is at the SCG.
I'd love to know who was calling Craig Bird there. If we can pick that up on the vision, because that should not have been such an easy goal. He went in unopposed, Spud. No one actually picked him up. If we see it here, has he come out of the centre bounces? I don't think so. Here's the quick kick gone in. There it is there. Ball watching Gilbert.
Yeah,
Ball watching,
there it is.
ball watching,
There it is.
ball
Well
watching.
picked up, Rosie.
Absolutely disgraceful defence.
You can have a look as long
Yeah.
as you've got a defensive position
Yeah.
on your direct opponent, not in that instance.
Oh, the coach really coming out into there, Rosie. Not happy with the work of Gilbert, but great goal for Bird and the Swans.
Well, if you're a defender, Hutto, your first responsibility is to defend. And he went to one side, Bird went the other side.
Rhino keeps
to
being
all-
important too.
Yeah, a couple
it
of
has.
clearances.
Back to 11. Urgent situation for the Saints again. Stephen takes them out to half forward. Goddard angles the kick in for Saad. The odds not good there. They're better when Milne's in the frame. Couldn't take it and wasn't interfered with. O'Keefe to Richards. Didn't really do Richards any favours at all. Quick work from Snyder to get it on the boot. And that hits the post.
Well, they're working really hard, the Saints. I mean, both sides. But that's 12-4 inside 50s now. So they're just 9 goals, 16 to 11 goals, 14.
So Grundy has the ball at full back. Last quarter, 2-7 to StKilda, 2-1
Yeah.
to the Swans. The inside 50s, 12-4. Roberts Thompson the target, and the ball knocked to safety. Margin back to 10 points.
I think the interesting thing is, Hutto, that the Saints just seem to be working overtime to get back into this game and kick a goal. And every time they get close enough, the Swans go down and kick an easy goal.
Kozitsky over the top of Roberts Thompson. Del Santo couldn't do much. Looking for out on the full.
And this is where, with Kosicki, Lewis Roberts Thompson, they need to try and set something up here, the Saints, around their stoppage. Here comes McAvoy now.
Hanbury. Bird. He knew what was around him. Reed versus Gwilt. Been a really good struggle all day, that one, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Gwilt's worked hard. Hasn't been a lot of one-on-ones, I guess, just because of the nature of the way the game's been played. Reed's just had 4 disposals, 3 marks for 2 behinds.
They're just setting themselves too far back, the ruckman, for this side of the ground.
Yeah, absolutely, Pickers. The last 2 throw-ins, they haven't got anywhere near it.
Jack for Goods.
We'll see if they learn this time, Rusey. But you're right, the umpire throws it straight in the teeth of the breeze.
Yeah.
The ruckman's sitting up like they're throwing it with the breeze.
Yeah, no, and that's, sorry, that drives the coaches crazy, I can tell you. They can't work out, how does the ruckman not get to the contest?
Yeah.
You've got to work it out.
McAvoy brings it down. Stephen went to ground, was looking for a free perhaps. Jack. Industrious stuff in there. We are talking about ruckman there, Rosie.
Well, the problem is they want to wrestle before they actually get to the contest. So they wrestle, and they work out, hang on, it's 5 metres. I've got to run, and I don't get there.
8.5 to go. Goods made a run at it, but he collected Lenny Hayes high.
They need to make the most of their opportunities. I know we talked about the Sydney Swans in the first quarter, but since half-time, the inside 50s have been 32-13.
Yeah.
StKilda's favour. They need to generate some score now. It's going to be a wasted opportunity.
The interesting thing is, though, Spud, it hasn't looked that way because of the way they've used the ball. They've just bombed it in.
Yeah, and there's another.
The ball usage has just been horrendous going forward, the Saints.
From Dempster. Somehow they keep it alive.
There's another, just another bomb forward. There's been no system. So whilst it looks like a smashing in terms of raw stats, it certainly hasn't been that way because of the ball use has been terrible.
And you can see why Rewalt and Cozzy have been quiet. They haven't had great games. They'd be the first to say that, but they haven't been helped by the ball use.
Not at all.
So 8 minutes to go. Here's Kozitsky and Richards at the top of the goal square. Swans with a couple of extras back at the moment. Which means the Saints also have surplus numbers. Here's Hayes driving it in. Kozitsky over the top. Milne just for a moment.
It's been an intriguing game. It's one of the most intriguing games because there's hard contests, great tactics, big clashes like that. There's going to be some sore boys at the end of the game.
Oh, absolutely. I think tactically it's been really fascinating. There's certainly contested footy, guys winning one-on-one contests. There's no doubt it's just been a different game. It's not a free-flowing sort of game, but that's fine. I think it's been fascinating to watch, and it's 10 points of difference with 7 minutes to go, so it's anyone's game at the moment.
A taxing game of footy at the SCG. And the pressure, no doubt, being felt by those two men as much as anyone.
And as you know, Rosie, it's a relief for the winning coach and a week of heartache for the losing coach.
Jack to half forward. Again, the extra number is a telling factor. Straight to Dempster.
Well, they're exhausting days, these guys, from a tactical point of view from the coaches, because you know you've got to try and free something up. You've got to try and free a player, get a player involved. Maybe do you leave the loose back, do you gobble there, loose back up. So it's a real tactical battle in the coaching.
There's a chance here, the Saints.
They've been using the spare really effectively on this move forward. And so it's deep. Cozzy held back. And there the extra number works to Sydney's advantage. Grundy took a long time to kick that. And Johnson's got problems here because there are Saints galore at half forward. And they use each other very smartly. Geary, Snyder, one more. Donnell for his second. Unfortunately, it's out of bounds on the full.
Well, it's come off the outside of his boot, unfortunately. You can see what he's trying to do. They're pressing the Saints.
Just a lack of composure at the moment from the Saints. Just need someone. Look, you can't blame the young kid. He's tried to screw it round, just come off the wrong side of his foot. No dramas with that. But you need a Montagny now to get hold of it, a Del Santo, someone that can just lower their eyes. Snyder's normally a smart player. They just need to hit a short target.
They try and get it out of there, but it's going to come straight back in again. Goddard dumps. And they're inside the 50 through Stephen. Again, that's across the face. Teddy Richards.
Well, it was a terrible kick. It was straight to Teddy Richards. It wasn't to Cozzy's advantage at all.
Shaw to O'Keefe to Jack. And he goes straight for the chalk. McVeigh versus Geary. And that'll suit the Swans just fine at this late stage. 6.5 to go, Spud.
Well, there's a lot of pressure out there, but you've still got to kick the ball long to advantage. Now, have a look at this kick here. Cozzy's playing in front, and he should have kicked it to Cozzy's advantage there to the top of the square or to the space. Or
Sard, was it?
Or Sard as well, but he's kicked it straight to Teddy Richards.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was actually having a shot for goal and just miskicked it.
Well,
I'll tell you what, it's almost like, Spud, if you look behind the play, you got Ryan O'Keefe there. It's almost like the Swans coach is saying, I don't think you can beat it.
You won't score like this.
Yeah.
well, you've been in 17 times.
That's right. You're not scoring at the moment. We're just going to sit one back or two back and let you keep peppering it in. And if we can get one on the
doing
fast
that.
break...
Mind you, if they get it in enough, surely they'll break eventually.
Not if they kick it like that.
You're right.
And there's O'Keefe just mopping it up.
So there's no need for Sam Donnell to play on them. He had to go back and let the forwards set up.
Yeah.
Let them get set.
Goods did really well there to get a spoil on, and he caught it.
Whose free kick's
Whose
this?
free kick is it?
I think it's Jones's free, but
It's got to be. He had the ball.
just not sure what he actually did wrong.
Well, he attacked it hard.
Was it in the back? Was it too high?
Or the legs from underneath him.
He didn't call that, though, the umpire.
Yeah, I think it was just a good contest. I think
It was legs underneath. I think he should have got the free, but I'm just not quite sure what it was for. The kick goes to centre half forward. Shaw got it away. Goddard, Lenny Hayes.
he's a one-on-one.
And he can go to Kaczynski.
That's exactly what you talked about, Rose. You get the ball in the hands of the decision makers, and the blokes that can use the ball by foot, instead of blazing away like other players might have, then you just hit up Cozzy there. So he just needs to finish.
Geez, what a kick this is. He's been quiet all day, Cozzy, but it might be your day, but it could be your moment.
Absolutely.
Well, that's exactly right. You might only get one real chance in a game to have an impact, and this is it for Justin Kaczynski.
There it is.
It's through, and the Saints are well and truly alive and in this.
This is an amazing game of footy, Rosie.
Well, the message for the Saints boys is lower the eyes. And here's the free kick. I'm not sure.
Well, Goodsy slipped over.
But what's the free kick for?
Well, it must be for taking Clinton Jones' legs from under him.
Pretty sure the umpire didn't say that.
I have no idea what that free kick. But lower your eyes. The Saints to win this game, they've got to lower their eyes, hit the guy on the lead. That's Ryan O'Keefe versus Cozzy.
What a game at the SCG. It's had the lot, and now we get the grand
It's staggering.
finish.
Staggering game of football, this. It's enthralling.
11-14-80, 10-16, 76. The Swans by 4 points. Big footy to be won. Malcheski, fumble. Needs your ball handling. McVeigh could. Malcheski couldn't. And the Saints are able to lock it all up.
And these are great games for players just to stand up in, you know. And you saw Lenny Hayes, who hasn't had a great game. He's had 7 in the last quarter. Montagna's had 7. Goddard hasn't had a great game. He's had 8 in the last quarter. So the Saints' good players are really starting to stand up now.
Push Goods back to the goal square as well, Sydney.
Yeah.
Slapped into the 50, sent out by Gilbert, not too fast. Stephen. 4.5 minutes to go, so half an eye on the clock now. Sydney by 4. The crowd can feel it. The players can feel it, no doubt. And the boundary umpire, they're a mile back again, the ruckman. They've had to push really hard to get there. Pike spikes it up to the 50. That'll suit the Swans just fine.
Yeah. McAvoy's got to prevent that from happening.
Now, the loose man in defence down here for StKilda is Dempster. Now, he's not going to get goods a one-on-one down there at all with Fisher.
Yeah, they're just not going to let that happen.
Nah. It's good positioning from Dempster behind the play there at the front. So it allows Fisher just to play from behind and then Dempster to take that front space. We can see it here if we get to this next stoppage, perhaps. That's good positioning. Yeah, there's Fisher one side and Dempster's out to the left there. If you look at him, there he is there. So he's taking that spot, really good spot there.
He's going the dangerous space.
Yep.
Del Santo slapped back by McVeigh. Hayes got rid of it as soon as he picked it up. And it's hot out there at the moment. Jones, Del Santo didn't panic. Got it into Graham's hands. Knew he had the extra number there to work with. Grill also was smart, composed. Sets a real task for Fisher, though. He's got 2 Swans to contend with.
Well done, Nick Smith.
Yeah.
Come up his direct opponent.
Good, collects, works it to Jenner. He decides to give to O'Keefe, who sets it up. McVeigh's got to go. Everett loves it late in the game. Not this time. Couldn't take the mark. It was there for him.
I'll tell you what, Lenny Hayes. Was that Lenny Hayes?
Yeah.
Look at that. Everett's come over the top with an absolute sitter. When I say sitter, he's got the run at it. Lenny Hayes reached up. He may have grabbed an arm, I reckon, but I tell you what, it was an outstanding effort.
Well, it's deep, deep, deep in the Swans attacking area. And Kieran Jack, talk about stand up. This small man with a big heart puts it through.
What was on him, Spud?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was Lee Montagna. And look, I think he was goal side. I think the tap was just too good. And it started with Nick Smith. It's just an amazing goal, unbelievable goal. You've just seen StKilda have just been pressing and pressing. Just have a look at the stoppage here.
Good setup. Great hit.
Lee Montagna, goal side. And
yeah, good goal.
Just a good tap, good goal. Nothing Lee Montagna could do there. Well done, Josh Kennedy.
They want this position on the top of the ladder.
It's a really good hit from Joey Kennedy, wasn't it? Just to get it to a super dangerous area. Didn't allow the ruckman, just knocked it out there, and then Kieran Jack, fantastic goal.
Crowd in full voice. Saints still a chance, though. They have to respond ever so swiftly. Under 2 goals, and still 3, almost 3.5 minutes to go. They'll put it in lockdown if they can now, the Swans, though.
Well, it's a copybook of the third quarter. See both coaches there, John Longmire working the phone.
They're going one-on-one now.
Yeah, he wants, I think John Longmire, sorry, Hutto, just calling them up. He wants the forwards up. He wants them up and around the backs. You can see Teddy Richards.
Well, they've got loose men forward here, the Swans, somehow.
Yep.
McLean's able to get there. He's ready for this, but it's going to come down into Reed's arms.
Well, Simpkin lost his footing. There's no... Look... 19 inside 50 StKilda for 3 goals. Sydney are now in 7 times and going for goal number 4. So got to make the most of the opportunities. It's an opportunity lost if StKilda lose this game. But Sydney have been brave. They've won the clearances. Good body use there from Reed. Engaged young Tom Simpkin and then flew for the high ball.
Puts it through and just about puts it beyond doubt.
Yeah, look at StKilda's early domination of this quarter, and O'Keefe just sat back. O'Keefe, and this is where the coaching comes into it, because they need to man O'Keefe up, Spud. He's ended up in this quarter, I think he's had 10 possessions in this quarter. He's controlled the game from the back half, and even though they dominate, great effort by Sam Reid. Hasn't had a great day. The good thing about Sammy Reid, he'll keep on trying, keep on presenting, and he basically kicks the goal to seal it.
His first goal comes 29 minutes into the final term, and unfortunately that doesn't paint a pretty picture for Scott Watters and the Saints. 16 points now the margin. Pike brings it to their feet. Bolton cops one high. And now 50.
Well, it's going to
rubs it in.
Yeah. Well, Lenny just must have asked the question. That's all that could have happened. He's been really brave in the last quarter, Lenny. He's had the 8 disposals. 3 clearances. There was definitely a free kick there, and I think he's just asked the umpire why.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of adjectives there. The cost of 50, obviously.
A big penalty, but yeah, Jude Bolton, he's always going to put his head over the football, and you've got to protect the guy going down for the ball. And free kick round the neck.
So Bolton comes in to make it 22 points, and there's no doubt about that. The Swans are still sitting on top.
If that's the scoreline at the end of the game, it's an injustice on the whole game. He's probably, it's just broken over the last 5 minutes. It's an eight-point game. Sydney deserve this win, and they're going to win now. Let's face it. And you just see the free kick. Lenny talking to the umpire.
Was it the smack on the head here? Have a look at this. From Armitage. What's this?
Oh, that's
there it
it.
is.
It's not Lenny.
It's not Lenny.
I apologise, Lenny.
Yep.
Well picked up, Rosie. It was David Armitage.
There's the live ladder, and there's the Swans with their percentage. 13 points clear.
Yeah, Josh Kennedy's had another outstanding game. 35 disposals, 21 contested possessions, 9 clearances, 1 goal.
Hungry for another. Jack sends it Reed from one side, Gooch from the other, but Fisher squeezed in between, takes the mark. Still trying to scramble one forward. Sard hasn't been a great day for him. Graham, creative little handball. Kieran Jack got the call at the last minute from McVeigh, and they control the footy.
You're talking about a bit of a blowout, not a blowout. The percentage, Hutto, is important.
No,
so
true.
both sides, because StKilda loses today and they drop a little bit of percentage, that could hurt them in the long run. So these last 4 or 5 minutes are critically important.
Bolton, and it could bounce either way. It sits for a while, and eventually goes out.
Yeah, another goal here in the next minute, Spud. It takes that right to 28 points.
Yeah, well, today, I guess, really all about the 4 points, but now those little things can matter.
Yep.
Mike Pike's done a really good job since Mumford's been off the ground. He's held his own against McAvoy and Cozzy.
Yep.
Very quick handballs from the Swans to the top of the square. They get one last mark or goal opportunity. Graham will try and get it out of there. Great tackling. And it's through for a behind. Could have been holding the ball. Down to the last 44 seconds. Nick Del Santo. Right down the middle. Richards parries it back. In fact, goes and gets it himself, Teddy, and drives into the pocket. And the last shot for goal of the game, you would think, will be not from Ben McGlynn at all. He kicks it into the goal square. And the mark taken by Jude Bolton. And he will get the last laugh here for the Swans. Yeah. It's going to be an unfair scoreline in the end, isn't it? It's going to be 29 points by the look of it.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't that sort of game watching it. Really close and a bit of a 5-goal victory in the end. The Swans, so Scotty Watters will be disappointed on a number of fronts.
He will. That Jude Bolton for another goal. Comes in, drives it through. And the Swans lead by 29 points. And that will be the winning margin with 1 second to go. And, well, let's hope the city really embraces them in the run into the finals now, Rosie.
Yeah, look, they got the Gold Coast next week. And they're certainly playing really good football. Haven't been at their absolute best today, but the credit to both teams. I think both teams have been very combative today, and they've just really had a go at each other physically, and it's been a really tough, physical, hard game. So, but the Swans certainly responded when StKilda dominated it in the second half, but they responded late, the Swans, and have come away with a really good win.
Yes, you couldn't have seen this scoreline even, what, 3-4 minutes?
No, absolutely.
4 quick goals from the Swans has taken it out to 29 points, and the Sydney Swans are still on top of the heap. And they are cheering here at the SCG as that famous song rings out. 26,000 people are on their feet, and they're loving what they see with this Sydney Swans team. As you said, a different kind of win today, Ruzi, but one that they'll savour nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. They had some terrific players. Kennedy, 35. He was outstanding. He's finished off with a great year. Goodsey played an interesting role. I thought it was a critical role that he played. He kept Fisher really busy after the first quarter, stayed forward for most of the game. Rewald kept on working really hard, but it was a tough day for forwards because of the ball movement, both teams. The Milne-Smith matchup was interesting. There's Nick Smith there, beaten early, bounced back, and then Milne kicked a couple late as well. So it was a really good game.
Shake down the thunder from the sky.